So, I just wanted to share a quick little story about how my day went today. And yeah, so we're on Friday the 13th, and it's 2020. And at this stage, the World Health Organization is called a pandemic. And so, if you're in the healthcare industry, you understand what this means. If you know somebody in the healthcare industry, you know what this means. Our nurses are getting ready to serve. They need all the support they can. My wife used to be a nurse. She's a great nurse. She such a great nurse that she'd show compassion to people that some people could never. Psychopaths, sociopaths. She made sure that they had essential things that a human being deserves, with neutrality, with passion. You deserve medicine. You deserve to live. These men didn't deserve freedom, but they deserve to live with some of the things they've done. That's what our justice system did. Anyways. We're picking up some stuff and we go down to Canadian Tire. I decided I'm just going to load up on my propane because, the winds are getting pretty strong around here. And if the power lines go down and if there's people calling in sick to work, we might be in a situation where we could be out of power for a day or two. It's not unrealistic. We live in Canada, right? So I'm going down to get propane, and, other people are also getting their propane too. And when I go, again, because my wife is a nurse and she understands what a pandemic means, she tells me to wear my mask to go get the propane. So I do. I wear my little respirator mask. Not because it keeps, it's not a filter. It's keeping my hands out of my fucking mouth so that I don't get sick. Right? Because I'm going to go out and I'm going to touch door handles and I'm going to go around. There's a pandemic in the world happening right now. Hong Kong, they recognized it. Their entire community locked down instantaneously. We are not that disciplined of a culture. We're just not. Rogan says it. We're too soft. So we don't know what's going on. And that's okay. But I know that I'm not going to put my hands in my mouth. I kind of get weird looks and laughed at for wearing the mask, even though my friend in Hong Kong said, don't go out anymore without your mask. It works here. You have to do it. And he just told me how he fears for the American healthcare system and how it will cripple under a pandemic. And so after we get our propane, I'm gonna get a extra battery for my second vehicle, because I got a second vehicle that I can't afford to put on the road. It's been there for 6 months, but I'd like to have a car battery in it in case we're in a situation where we need to help the elderly at the end of the street that have a care home that have, God, I don't even know, 80, 100 elderly in there. If this virus rips through that care home, our emergency room will not be able to handle just that one care home. People I know that have attended my wedding will be the ones in the ER. They will be the ones on the different floors that are deciding who gets the ventilation tube. Are we starting to understand now what happens in a pandemic? We stop spreading germs. That's it. Wash your hands. This virus is scary for people with immune systems that are comparable. We have the people with the skills to treat them. We do not go to the ER with a cold. We are not fucking around anymore with that. Okay? Listen to your healthcare workers. These are the ones that have taken the oath and that will die for your parents, for your kids, or for you, to give you a chance at life. So, let them work. Listen up. It's okay to wear a mask. I bought my battery. I took it back into my car and I sat down. And as I sat down, we were getting ready to go. and I saw that there was this man kind of getting held by two guys that were kind of getting pulled out of the store. Like, and I wasn't sure what was going on. Like, there's a liquor store there. There's some, there can be some homeless problems. It seemed odd, right? I wasn't sure if this guy was just a drunk that was trying to get away. I was assessing, and in about the 10 seconds of these two guys going out, a few scenarios run through your mind, or at least they should if it's a pandemic. One is, was this guy just assaulting anybody in the store by coughing on them, or doing something aggressive or stupid like licking toilet paper? Who knows, right? But what I could see is that this guy was trying to get away, and there was a gentleman and another gentleman trying to hold him back. He could have also just been a guy that was on meth and just kind of like trying to steal a handful of something. I did not know. But what I could see is that in that 10 seconds, that those two guys were having a hard time getting this guy to stop. At about the 10-second mark, my wife was like, don't go over there, because we are in a pandemic. I waited for about 5 more seconds, and I saw about 2 or 3 more men that were mid 40s, 30 years old, 20 years old, that took a very wide berth from these two guys trying to hold back this man. And then I had to turn my wife and was like, I gotta go over there. She says, take your mask and take your gloves. And I said, of course. So I take my mask and my gloves, and I jog over. I do not sprint. I'm not panicking. I still don't know what the situation is. I don't know who the men are. And as I get close, I stay about 10 feet away in front of where the man's trying to move forward. And I ask if they need help as I make eye contact with the guy who's trying to get away. The one guy immediately identifies himself as a peace officer. So I say, I'm going to put on my mask and my gloves, and I am willing to assist you. I did that. This guy was still struggling, and it was apparent that he was probably just most likely on some type of a chemical altering substance, most likely something like meth. I don't know all the drugs, but like, if you've looked into enough people's eyes who've done things, you can tell when they're there and when they're not there. This man was clearly not there. I still didn't know what he's done in the store. I just supported my peace officer, and I just put my hand up, and I said, you're stopping right here, or something like that. I can't remember. It happened really quick. And you're going to turn around and you're going to go back to the store, and either we can drag you, or you can act like a man, and you can walk yourself. Meanwhile, I was still about 6 feet away, because I didn't know if this guy was going to be a cougher or a spitter or something like that. And I knew that it was not my job to engage in physical conflict. There was a peace officer there, and I was strictly there to aid him when he called for it. Although I could see that at this point, at about 40 seconds in, like, physically his arms, you could see these guys were getting fatigued, and the cardio was they were going to need help physically soon. And so all I wanted to do was just make eye contact with this guy and tell him, with my mask on and with my gloves on, that he's getting back to that store. At that point, I saw like maybe 6 to 8 guys. Like, I was just trying to buy time, because I know, like, in a retail situation, people will rally around, and they'll, when they know that an emergency is there, like, our tribe will always step up and protect each other. It's what we do. We're Canadians. Fuck yeah. When I saw them coming, I knew that the situation was over. The staff had surrounded the gentleman. He was then kind of willingly to go back to his place, and one of the younger kids came up and was like, whoa, 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 dude, are you too angry? And then, like, we got him now, it's okay. And I looked over to the, like, 20-year-old kid, and I just kind of gave him a smile, and I was just stalling him until you guys could get here. That was it. Like, it wasn't real emotion that I was showing in that moment. We're in a pandemic. Be aware. Just be aware of the situation. I still don't know what the situation is, but because I decided to leave, because I had 3 kids in the car and we were just gathering our supplies so we could go home and self quarantine. I got 2 kids with colds. I don't think it's going to be anything to worry about, but they're presenting some symptoms, so I'm going to exercise my right to self quarantine. Our Prime Minister did it. All of our health officials are recommending it, yet people are kind of giggling about it still because I was the one in the store that had the mask. But none of those other people would have stepped in and helped that peace officer. They didn't know. All those things were running through their head. Wear your masks. Support your healthcare workers. I love you. Home of the true North Star. I messed that part up. Oh my God. What a day. Love you guys.